Hi, I'm Dr. Gary Motykie, and I'm a board-certified Beverly Hills plastic surgeon. And today I am going over Angelina Jolie. Stars like her that have been photographed their entire lifetime, we can really look at different things, analyze things, and notice some things that have changed probably surgically and some things that haven't. So I think it's going to be kind of fun to go through her kind of transitions. Immediately, if we look at her photos from when she was really young and her currently in her mid 40s or even later 40s, what's she now, 45?
Yeah.
There's some changes I think that, like I've said before, occur naturally with aging. If we look at her when she's really young, she has that nice, youthful, baby fat, chubby cheeks, face, and she has those iconic, classic, full lips, even when she was younger. So whether she's maintained that or not, I think some of that was with her naturally, and she's naturally a very stunning, beautiful woman. And the good news is, I think she didn't ruin it. She's kind of maintained things through the years. She hasn't gone extreme with anything. Women that are starting out beautiful, they don't need to do much. They just can tweak things, maintain things. I'm sure throughout the years she's maintained things with great skincare, keeping herself healthy, being in shape. All these things throughout time hold up. Kudos to her, a big feather in her cap that she's kind of maintained that beauty as well as maintained her health, and throughout the years has remained an icon, literally for decades. I would like to mention, as we look at throughout the years as she's changed, one of the things I think a lot of people pick up on right away is her nose. And again, I don't think it's that uncommon for people that are in media and movies and actresses to do a rhinoplasty. And I think throughout the years her nose has changed. Most likely a rhinoplasty. It's gone from being wider, more bulbous, to defined and more contoured. And as we age, like I always say, our noses don't shrink and become more contoured. They get larger and more bulbous. So as we see somebody like her and it's getting more contoured, more shape, that a rhinoplasty was done to bring in and narrow that bridge, contour the tip. And again, I think it was done well. It's not overdone, and it works with the remainder of her features. And of course, as we look throughout the years, we do see some changes in her facial structure. That chubby, face has come in and much more elegant and contoured. Naturally, I know that she throughout the years has gone through weight fluctuations, changes in her lifestyle. Some of these pictures, you may be seeing some of the changes in the body and the weight fluctuations. You see them in the face as well, so some of that can be that. And then secondly, like I've told you before, it can be related to a buccal lipectomy, but I think in her it's probably a little bit of a natural progression. Just the aging process and bringing it in. It's possible for a buccal. As well as possibly, as you notice throughout the years, that her cheeks have gotten a little bit more of a highlight, a little bit more dramatic change. So again, as that bottom face comes in, augmenting a little bit with fillers and in that upper cheek area can give that look of a more elegant look. And she probably, just to stay where she's been throughout 20, 30 years, probably some maintenance in there. That's just logical. As the face changes, we age, just to maintain that beauty, just to maintain that look, just to have it not age, something has to be done. And usually that's something like fillers. It can be fat grafting, something into the face to keep that, a little bit of that plumpness, a little bit of that youthfulness to the face. The lips have been maintained as well, and as like I always say, the lips aren't going to get fuller or even stay the same as we get older. They get thinner, they shrink down. So even if her lips have stayed the same size throughout all these years, probably some maintenance with some injectables, some sort of filler in there to maintain that fullness of her lips. In the lower face, some people are suspicious of jawline contouring, implants, a chin augmentation. She's always had a very strong jawline. I think it was a little bit masked when she was younger because of that plumpness in the lower face. I don't think it's as likely that it was a jaw surgery as it was, again, some sort of filler or augmenting that jawline throughout the years, little maintenance, little tweaks. And it's been done very well because as we look throughout the years, again, her face naturally is beautiful. The right symmetry, the right shape, the right proportions. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Her eyes pop, her lips pop. Everything about her is attractive. So I think the good news is, as she's aged, she's maintained that. Another thing that people comment a lot is whether she's had a facelift or not. And there are some telltale signs of facelifts that we look for as surgeons or people in general. And I've heard comments about people, and one of the most common things that we notice in facelifting is that when the face is pulled up like this, if they don't anchor the ear correctly here, you'll see what's called a pixie ear. The ear will pull down like this. It's sort of a older problem. It shouldn't be any, you shouldn't see those anymore, because the proper facelift, you're going to hide the incision inside the ear, around here, and hide it behind the ear. And when you pull this up, you want to anchor this so that there is no pixie ear here. And there are some photographs of Angelina on the internet where they're pointing this out. She might have a pixie ear. I see photos of her with a little laxity in her neck and no pixie ear, so I think it's all over the place whether the photo with the pixie ear is touched up or not. It's interesting to me because she's getting to about that right age. If you're going to do a facelift and you want it to be less noticeable, that's about the right age. Women are tending to do it in their 40s now, around their 50s and 60s, because if you wait too long, first of all, they're not going to enjoy their 40s and 50s as much. Secondly, it's going to be a much more dramatic change. You're going to see a big difference, you know, from hanging neck to everything pulled up and tightened, and it's more of a dramatic kind of shocking change. So celebrities in general are tending to do what I call setting the stage facelift, you know, setting that stage for more elegant aging for the next 10, 20 years, doing a little tweak there to set it and then maintain it with other things, such as skin treatments, microneedling, radio frequency devices that helps tighten the skin, maintain the skin. And then once that stage is set, you just maintain it. And her, I will point out that she did Maleficent. There's an interesting thing because she actually gives herself a pixie ear in that movie. And so when you look at that photo, you see what a pixie ear would look like on her. And I'm not sure that I see that throughout the years, unless that photo has been retouched that I saw. If so, then I'd be very suspicious of a minor little tweak, kind of a little mini facelift. And the second thing I want to say about the Maleficent thing is it gives you an opportunity to see what Angelina would look like if she did overdo it, if she did push the limits, what people look like when they go to extreme. The jawline is really contoured in and sucked in, the cheekbones are really augmented and over-exaggerated, and you know, the brow, so you get an idea of what, if she had overdone it, what she would have looked like. So I think that's interesting. On the positive side, she didn't do that. She did stay very natural. She's not doing crazy things, not a lot of surgery. So I think if I had to look at her today versus when she was younger, I do see those changes that everybody kind of notices in the mid-face, the nose, and the jawline, but I think a lot of that is natural aging as far as the face maturing and becoming more elegant. And that jawline to me is still a little suspicious. Nose for sure has been changed. Overall, again, I think the message to take away from Angelina is that she's doing things right. I think that, you know, it's really hard to maintain that beauty icon for that many years and for that long, and to not overdo it and not make yourself look weird or strange or overdone. So again, I think thumbs up to her, and I hope she stays on that path and stays an icon of beauty for many years to come.
So a lot of people think Angelina is like this super fake celebrity. But based on your analysis today, she has kind of like the traditional Hollywood tweaks.
It's an interesting look because it's almost pushing the limits to a masculine look because of that really strong jawline and the features in her face. I think if the rest of the features didn't quite balance that out, it could look extreme, but in her it all works. Her beautiful eyes and the beautiful lips bringing in the feminine features, and the proportions of her face, that jawline works and it's going to hold up over time. So because she has a strong jawline, what people don't realize, because of that length of the chin and the jawline, it will really hold up over time. So I don't think it's too extreme. Some people will feel that her jawline is maybe a little too strong and her lips are a little overdone, but I think in her it's one of her trademarks.
Also, her lips are her trademark, and I know you said she's likely had them somewhat augmented over the years, but her natural look was with full lips.
Yeah, you can, if you look at her photo when she was in her teens, she had big full lips, and fillers weren't around back then. You know, the good news about her is her early photos, fillers didn't exist. You know, these things weren't around back then, so, you know, you can't say, oh, she was playing with them when she was in her teens, right? That was her lips, that was her features. She was, you know, naturally born a pretty girl. And then the tweak she did, I think, along with the natural aging in her, led to a much more elegant look. I do think some things obviously were, you know, just to maintain it, you have to do something. Some things were done.